don't have a clock, how would you decide what time of the day is it? How to decide what time of the day is it? How time interval of month or year is decided? Many years ago, our ancestors observed many events get repeated itself after particular event of time. So that's why they made day, month, and year. So like example, sunrise and sunset was the event, one new moon, earth revolution around the sun. So these were the events, and many more other events are also there, which due to which they made day, month, and year. Now, clocks or watch are used to know the time interval much shorter than the day. Working of the clock is complex, but they use the same periodic motion which we see in the simple pendulum. You already know about the periodic motion. I already told you about this. So the best example of periodic motion is simple pendulum. So simple pendulum, this all the clocks working is they generally use this periodic motion. Now, how does this work? We'll see about it. So, you can do this at home with your friends and your family members. You can take a rope, a big rope of about 100 centimeters, and tie a metallic bob at the end. Now, the main position is 0, is O. So, after that, what happens when if you will drag this rope, this metallic bob from O to A, and then leave it from A, it will move from A to B and then again A to B. It will keep on moving. So that is actually called as one oscillation. When the bob of the pendulum moves from position A to B and then again come back to A. This is called as one oscillation, and that is the time period. The time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation, that is called as the time period. Now, how to calculate the time period? That is here. So, time period of the simple pendulum. Time taken by number of oscillations. How to do that? For example, you can take a pendulum whose length of the string is 100 centimeter, takes 43 seconds to complete 20 oscillations. So, how to find the time period of one oscillation? You have to find the time period actually. You will come to know the time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation. So for that, we'll take time period. We'll apply the same formula which is given here. Time period equal to time taken by number of oscillations equal to, it took for time taken, how much time was taken? 43 seconds by 20. Why 20? 20 is the number of oscillations and number of oscillation was 20 divided by 20 equal to, it took 2.15 seconds. So the time period is 2.15 seconds. What is 2.15 second? 2.15 second is the time period of one oscillation. So this units of time and speed. Basic unit of time is second. This is the very smallest unit. If you want to go on larger units, then they are minutes and minute and hour. And basic unit of speed is meter per second or meter per minute or kilometer per hour. Always symbols of units are written in singular. Remember that. This is very important. They are not written as meters per seconds or meters per minutes, kilometers per hours. This will be wrong. They are always written in singular. Now how to calculate different things, like how to calculate speed, how to calculate distance, how to calculate time. If in your exam or certain question comes like if distance is given to you and time is given to you and you have to find out the speed, then the formula is this. For calculating speed, it is speed equal to total distance covered by total time taken. And if you have to calculate the distance, if by chance speed and time are only given, distance are not given to you. So what you will do for calculating distance equal to speed into time. So next, for calculating time, If distance is given to you, speed is given to you in the numerical question, and time is not given, then you can calculate by applying this particular formula. So you don't have to remember all these three formula. These three formulas are taken out from the same from the one formula, that is speed equal to total distance covered by total time taken. So from this only you can find out the speed and you can find out the time. For this, you should know, read the question properly, see what is given to you, and accordingly solve your question. Next is odometer and speedometer. What is odometer and speedometer? Odometer and speedometers are generally on the vehicles, either it is scooty, car, truck, bus, whatever it is. So odometer is there. This is a meter that measures the distance covered by the vehicle. Speedometer, the meter that records the speed. Speedometer is the meter that records the speed. If you see this here, what is the odometer? This is the odometer. Here it is given, this vehicle ran 4 miles. So this is the odometer which is telling you which is measuring the distance covered by the particular vehicle. Speedometer, meter that record the speed. This is the speedometer, and from the speedometer you can tell what is the speed of the vehicle, whether it is 20 kilometer per hour or 40 or 60 or 80 or 100 kilometer per hour speed. So this is the speedometer. You will find this in all the vehicles. Distance time graph. Now this is very important, and you might be knowing a little bit of how to make a graph. Now just suppose, for example, you are going on a picnic with your parents and you are traveling by car, or you are going to a picnic by bus with your friend. So here what you will do, you can do this at your home also. This is practical thing which you can do while going somewhere with your parents or with your friends. You can note down the time when you started and the odometer reading, that what was the timing at a particular time when you started. Here I made a table based on my assumptions, just my assumptions. For this is at 7 a.m. the odometer reading was this, 7:30 a.m. the odometer reading was this, 8:30 it was 56820, and so the I mean 8 o'clock it was this, and 8:30 it was 56840. So distance from the starting point, at starting point, at 7 a.m. the distance was 0 kilometer, traveled 0 kilometer. At 7:30 a.m. it traveled 20 kilometer. What we did, we subtracted these two, it ran 20 kilometers. And at 8 o'clock it ran 40 kilometers. At 8:30 it ran, the distance was 60 kilometer. So based on this, we'll plot a distance time graph. We'll plot a distance time graph based on the table which was given in the previous slide. The distance time graph is actually a line graph. Distance time graph shows the vehicle is moving in a constant speed as we got the straight line. This is the distance time graph. Now here, this one is the x-axis and this is y-axis. Time is represented on the x-axis and distance in kilometers is represented in y-axis. Now here the timing, I wrote 7:30 a.m. 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m., 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. And here the distance in kilometers are given 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Now at 7 a.m. the distance traveled by the vehicle was 0 kilometers. So I pointed on 0. At 7:30 a.m. the distance traveled by the vehicle was 20 kilometers. So it is marked here. After that, at 8 a.m. the distance traveled by the vehicle is 40 kilometers. I marked it here. At 8:30 a.m. the distance traveled by the vehicle is 60 km. It is marked here. So by marking all the points, we got a straight line, and this shows that the vehicle is moving with a constant speed. Now, why distance time graph is important? What is the importance or significance of that? Distance time graph provide a variety of information when we compare to the table. For example, I gave if you will see that table, the information which is given in the table, you will come to know the distance moved by bus only at some definite time intervals. On the other hand, if we'll see this table from the distance time graph, from this graph we can find the distance moved by the bus at any instant of time. For example, if I want to find at 7:15 how much the bus traveled at 7:15, we if we'll see the point will come around here. It means at 7:15 the bus might have traveled 10 kilometers. So this is the significance of a distance time graph. Like if it's a uniform motion, the graph as you can see, it will be a straight line, a slanting straight line. And if the vehicle is in rest, it will be a straight line like this way, a sleeping straight line. And if it is a non-uniform motion, the it means the speed keeps on changing, then the line will be a curved line. So this tell you about the distance time graph. So I hope you learn a lot in this chapter.